All You Need Is Love by the Beatles quotes 6 other songs during its less than 4-minute runtime. Of course, the song proudly kicks off with a bit of La Marseillaise, the French national anthem. But it's during the song's outro where the other 5 references can be heard. At 2 minutes and 53 seconds, we get this snippet of Bach's 2-part invention number 8 played on the horns. Shortly after, we hear the melody from Glenn Miller's In the Mood, also played on the horns. We then get perhaps the 2 most subtle references at the same time. John briefly sings the word yesterday as a small reference to the Beatles' classic song, but just after that the strings start playing the melody of the old folk tune Greensleeves. And finally, Paul closes the song by singing She Loves You as a nod to the band's earlier hit. If you listen to the song Every Day by Buddy Holly and the Crickets, you won't hear drums. However, the band's drummer did perform on this record. He's just not playing his usual drum kit. Instead, he's percussively playing his own knees to provide the simple but effective percussion part we hear on the record. Every day, it's getting closer, going past. I'm sure you recognise this song. Mandy, made famous by Barry Manilow, but the original version of the song was actually about a woman called Brandy, not Mandy. The original Brandy version was written and sung by Scott English. The reason Manilow changed the lyric to Mandy for his version is because by the time he chose to cover the song in 1974, the song Brandy You're a Fine Gal by Lookingglass had come out. So to avoid confusion with that song, Manilow made the subtle lyrical change from Brandy to Mandy. You've probably listened to Hounds of Love by Kate Bush before, but have you ever wondered what that voice sample at the beginning is?
It's in the trees. It's coming.
When I was a child.
Well, it's a clip of dialogue taken from the 1957 horror film Night of the Demon.
It's in the trees. It's coming. The demon! It's coming! No!
The iconic fuzz guitar riff at the beginning of Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones is the first example of fuzz distortion in a hit song. Keith Richards achieved the fuzz effect using the recently released Maestro FZ1 fuzz tone pedal, which was the first commercially available fuzz pedal. But interestingly, initially Richards didn't intend the now legendary fuzz guitar line to be used on the actual record. He was using the fuzz effect as a placeholder for a riff that he imagined would later be played by horns. Of course, in the end, they decided to keep the fuzz tone for the now classic riff. Although we can actually hear what Satisfaction could have sounded like with the riff played on horns by listening to Otis Redding's cover version of the song that came out the same year as the original. Did you know that Foo Fighters' 1997 classic Everlong features a female backing vocal that was recorded over the phone? Today, it's not unusual for a musician to contribute to a track remotely, but in 1997 it was far less practical to do, particularly as Everlong was recorded to tape. Dave Grohl wrote Everlong about his relationship with Louise Post, who was the singer of the band Veruca Salt. He therefore wanted Louise to sing a BV on the track, but at the time she wasn't around. So as engineer Bradley Cook explains in this clip, they decided to record her vocal over the phone.
She was in Chicago, and we're in Hollywood at Grandmaster, so...
You did it on a phone?
Yeah, we did phone. So we had the, her monitor was the telephone next to the NS10 in the control room.
Yeah.
And then we called her on the other line. We recorded her on the other phone with probably an 87 or something, I would imagine.
So she's hearing through a phone da, 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 on the guitar riff, and she's singing along with it, and you're recording it back on...
That's right, she's aping the guitar riff, yeah. Wow, it's crazy to hear this. And there's, it's all tape, so she had to get it right. There's no moving anything around,
Have you ever wondered what this sound is at the start of the song The Bends by Radiohead? Well, it's actually a tape recording that Thom Yorke made outside his hotel when the band were touring in America. The sound at the beginning of The Bends comes from this caterwauling mayhem outside this hotel in the States. There was this guy training these 8-year-old kids who were parading up and down with all of these different instruments. The guy had this little microphone on his sweater and was going, "Yeah, keep it up, keep it up." So I ran out and taped it. If you're interested in music theory, then you'll be interested in hook theory. Hook theory offers a whole range of resources for developing your understanding of music theory. For example, their website offers a music theory analysis of over 40,000 songs. They also offer 2 interactive music theory textbooks, which, much like my own videos, teach music theory by using well-known songs to exemplify and explain music theory concepts. On top of this, Hook Theory's HookPad is a great tool that helps you apply music theory concepts in your own songwriting. As you compose, HookPad will make suggestions about potential chord or note choices based on the mode or key that you're in. Did you know that the original version of The Sound of Silence by Simon & Garfunkel was a commercial failure and actually led to the duo splitting up? The original 1965 version of the song, which was actually originally called The Sounds of Silence, was a more basic acoustic arrangement with just voice and acoustic guitar.
Streams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone.
After the duo's debut album Wednesday Morning 3 AM was a flop, Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel went separate ways. The following year though, the song did start to get a little radio play. Noticing this, Simon & Garfunkel producer Tom Wilson decided the track needed a folk rock revamp. Wilson had been producing Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. So after one of the sessions, Wilson asked Dylan's guitarist Al Gagorny and drummer Bobby Gregg to stay behind, and with the addition of second guitarist Vinnie Bell and bassist Bob Bushnell, they overdubbed a Byrds-inspired folk rock arrangement over the top of Simon & Garfunkel's original acoustic track.
In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone.
Wilson then released this revamped version and it became the hit track that we know and love today. The most amazing thing though about this story is that Simon & Garfunkel weren't even informed about this redubbed version. Paul Simon didn't find out about it until he saw The Sound of Silence in the Billboard Hot 100. On listening to the new version of the song, Paul Simon was apparently horrified, particularly due to the moments in the track where the overdubbed band go a bit out of time with the original acoustic performance. Regardless of Simon's disapproval though, the revamped track was what launched the duo to worldwide success. When recording the vocals for David Bowie's classic track Heroes, producer Tony Visconti wanted to take advantage of the studio's natural reverb, but he only wanted the reverb on the louder parts of the vocal, not the quiet parts. But with only one track left on the tape machine, Visconti had to get inventive with how he recorded it. I'll let Visconti explain.
I wanted the room, but I didn't want it all the time. We only had one track left for the vocal. So I set up a mic in the middle of the room to capture how the sound travels that far, maybe 15, 20 feet. And then I set up a third mic in the rear of the room where it travels the whole length, probably 50 feet. And David was on this end of the room with a close mic in front of him. And I had this technique, we had this ability in those days to put an electronic gate on a audio signal. So I put an electronic gate on the middle microphone and the distant microphone and set them to a specific threshold where if David sings loud enough, he'll open the microphone. If he sings quiet, the microphone won't open and you'll just hear this sound in front of him.
I will be king.
See, there's no reverb on that. And he could hear that in the headphones, and he's working it. So verse 4, if you go to verse 4, now he's working the middle mic and the end mic.
I will be king.
Another Bowie fact that I actually discussed in one of my earliest videos on this channel is that his song Life on Mars was actually